Hey everyone, welcome to Happy Hour with Dave and Austin, where you can get to know a little bit about us and the people that we work with.
And today we have Jer from White Cloud Productions. Welcome, buddy.
Thanks
Cheers,
for having
boys.
me, boys.
No
Cheers.
worries.
Cheers.
My first question for you guys is, when you were growing up, what did you want to be?
I want to be a hockey player. I think it was probably both of us.
Yeah, me too.
We both
Really?
wanted to be
Yeah,
hockey players.
I really thought I was going to play in the NHL.
Who was your favorite hockey player?
Mine was Pavel Bure. Absolutely.
Russian Rocket, baby.
Absolute stud.
Absolute
I had so
stud.
much Bure stuff. It was ridiculous. I remember going to game 6 against the Rangers in the finals.
Yeah.
And I wore no tarp. And I had Bure. I had it painted on my back. No word of a lie.
I wasn't a diehard like him. Not even close.
No?
I didn't really have one. Probably favorite player now would be Connor McDavid. That guy is
Oh,
next
yeah.
level.
You wanted to be hockey players, but then you're growing up. What were your first actual jobs?
He's got a laundry list.
I have honestly 35 jobs. Not even kidding you. But my first one, I was a bus boy at 15 at I can't even remember the name of the restaurant that somebody had.
What about you, Austin?
I want to say I did like landscaping for like a family friend when I was younger, but like my actual like legit job was Levy Source for Sports on the one-way in Langley when I was 15. They were on the
Wait,
one-way
was
there.
that in the corner spot?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
4 hours, not a single customer would come in. We'd sit there and just shoot pucks at things on the wall.
Transitioning from there, what was it and why did you guys move into real estate?
I knew I wanted to work with people and work in sales. And I like the opportunities and freedoms that real estate can bring, and being around your family a lot more, and the opportunities that the ceiling is your own, you put your own work in, you can have as much income as you desire at the end of the day,
Yeah.
as well as provide for my family. When I chose to have one, which I do now, but that was the end goal. I'm like, I need to be a provider.
For me, again, like Dave said, like I remember working jobs where I sat next to the next guy, and whether I went above and beyond for someone or not, I still got the same paycheck, and that didn't sit well with me. So I was like, I want to work hard for people and do good for people, and I mean, you should be rewarded for your hard work. So that was kind of I like the freedom of working for myself or with Dave in a kind of line of work that there's no ceiling.
We're going to take a little bit of a different course here now for a little while.
All right.
If you guys had to pick an animal to describe each other, what animal would it be? So you
That's
describe an animal for
so
Austin,
good.
and vice versa.
Man. Yeah, I was thinking that.
Austin has his mind made up already.
No,
I mentioned mine.
he said giraffe, and I was gonna say that, but I was like, man, that's not nice, right?
No, it's true though. It's fine. That's okay. Everyone calls it that.
I wouldn't say that.
I think gorilla, just because they're in wicked shape, and this guy's just a fitness freak.
That's true.
I'll take that. I'll take that. So I can't call you a giraffe now.
I'll pump your tires. You can deflate mine.
I call a dog maybe because he's super kind. He's one of and he's a man's best friend. He's my best friend in the office.
Okay, we're going to stick with this a little bit. Have you guys ever had nicknames growing up?
Yeah, I had a weird one. Munson.
Munson.
Yeah, Munson. So I guess this teacher called me Dave Munson one time on accident, said Dave Mason. And this kid Vince in my school, he looked like Screech, no joke. He's like, ha, he called you Munson. And it stuck. It just wouldn't go away. He kept calling me Munson. So from grade 10 to grade 12, that's kind of what people called me was Munson. And I just didn't quite get it, but it stuck.
Munson.
Munson. Thanks to the teacher that called me
that
Dave
might
Mason.
stick with me here, man.
I don't know how you call someone Munson with
I'm
the
so
M-A.
glad we're putting this out to the rest of the
Yeah.
world, too.
Perfect. Line
Dave
one for
Munson.
Yeah, that was it. Did you have one?
When I was 16, playing in the dub, and the boys called me Aussie Baby.
Aussie baby.
Aussie
It's
baby.
my Twitter handle too. And it stuck, and it just kind of hung out. And then we dropped the baby part, and my buddy used to call me Aussie, Oz. My one buddy calls me Stin. Just drops the AU and calls me Stin. Don't know where it came from.
Stin.
This guy calls me Austie.
Yeah.
Never been called Austie in my life until I met this guy.
I think that's the best of 4. I like Aussie the best personally.
All right, let's jump back to real estate for a second. What's something that you guys feel separates you from other realtors?
Trying to sound cliche.
No, I know. I don't want to sound cliche. As you know, when you shoot our stuff, we stage 95% of our stuff. I honestly think we put a lot into our sellers package. So when we represent a seller, buyers as well, but especially sellers, regardless of the market, we we're behind it financially and emotionally. Like we really put everything into it. And if that means us showing up and helping you move stuff into the garage so we can get staging items in there, that's kind of what we do, because we know that that will make a difference in your end result.
Your stuff always looks awesome.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
It looks good. If you have a new realtor just starting out, what's one piece of advice you give?
Honestly, with everyone I talk to that that's just getting licensed, I say join somebody. Just join someone. You'll get the reps. You'll be doing the showings. You'll be doing you'll be helping with the paperwork. You'll be seeing negotiations going on. So you're picking up things that people do.
Yeah.
You'll be going through contracts. I remember my first contract. I was shaking going through it. Like my hand was like shaking because I had no idea like what was really in it. Like I read it multiple times, but still you're a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the lady was old and probably forgot about it, but that's okay. Like the biggest thing is just having those reps, because when the time comes, like say you get your first listing, your first deal 6 months down the road, and you're writing a contract, you have no idea what you're doing if you haven't done it before.
Because it's better, if you're not busy, it's better to get up every day and go and do something
Have something to do.
Especially
than it is to sit there being like, oh, I have no business.
Especially in this industry, right? Because it's very, especially with social media now, you people are comparing themselves consistently. And if you see maybe someone that started at the same time as you or whatever, and they're doing a bunch of business and you feel like you're not, it really just zaps your motivation. Mine would be go all in. I made the mistake my first 2 years. I was still working part-time somewhere, and it cost me because I didn't get the reps I should have got in. It's 2 years I burned doing half the amount of work I should have did because I was half committed. So
that's good.
I would say go all in. It's scary, but go all in, and then if you can either find a mentor or join someone, I think you got a good situation brewing, honestly.
All right, let's shift gears again. What's your guys' favorite boy band?
Whew. I'm gonna go with 98 Degrees.
Okay. Okay.
I think
I don't even know.
That's a tough one. I'm gonna have to say, I guess, New Kids on the Block, because
New Kids on the Block.
that is like that. They were the first boy
They
band
were
because you're
the
my age,
first.
right?
Yeah.
In that pocket.
Totally.
So that was the first, like, and they weren't even really like, they were a boy band, but they were sort of badass,
Yeah.
right? So that was that would be mine.
New Kids on the Block.
I don't even know, man.
You don't have one?
NWA? Are they a boy band?
They can
Oh, I love it.
they can be one.
Okay, on that same line, you guys get to have coffee with any celebrity you want. Who do you pick?
I'm picking Jay-Z.
Jay-Z?
Yeah.
Really?
I knew that. I actually knew that.
100%.
That's a surprise to
Really?
me, though.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
grew up in Guilford, man.
Yeah. Honestly, I love him, man. I really do. I think his music is really good.
Yeah.
His first album, like, I don't know if you don't listen to hip hop, maybe it wouldn't appeal to you as much, but if you do, or use like music in general, like it's an unreal album.
Yeah.
And just his story and what he's created. I mean, he's
Totally. That's cool. I didn't know that
Yeah,
about you.
love Jay.
Okay,
Big Jay guy.
cool.
Big Jay
That's
guy.
cool. What about you, Austin?
I feel like Matthew McConaughey would be a cool guy to sit
That
down
would be
with.
legit.
I feel like
yeah,
he's
that
got
would
some
be cool,
stories, and
yeah.
like even just hearing his voice live would be pretty cool too. He seems like a cool dude.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He could sit across from you, just say anything he
Yeah,
wants.
I don't even care.
Yeah.
Just talk.
Like, just keep talking.
yeah.
We're just. I'm gonna pull up some stuff. You just read it to me,
Please.
read me
and
this
I'll just
book.
sit here and enjoy it. Austin,
All right, here it is.
what's Dave like when he's playing hockey?
We should ask the gate of the boards. Guy slams that thing harder than anything I've ever seen in my life.
Tired.
Dave is hardest working guy on the ice. Hardest working guy out there.
I'll take that.
He is 100%.
Yeah.
Don't battle with him in a corner. You're gonna lose.
Wow, I'll take that.
He's. I think him and I are a bit different. More lackadaisical. I'm like, it's okay. You can have the puck. It's okay. He's more like, no, not mine. I'm winning. He's very competitive. Very competitive, but like not in a bad way.
I think I'm more hard on myself than others out there.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And the gate. The gate gets slammed.
And
all
But
the
the
time.
gate's a recipient of my bad shift. I feel bad for the gate, but it has nothing to do with most people out there. It's typically I'm tripping myself.
Who do you spend more time with, Austin or Christy?
These days, Austie by a long shot. Like, so, honestly, you know those shows where you're like, you do like the couples and you pull the cards. I'd like 10 out of 10 with this dude. I'd probably get like 4 out of 10 with my wife right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I would go 10 out of 10. And sorry, Christy, it would be. So yeah, Austin for sure. And I love it. So I do love it. I'm lucky. Lucky
That is
Oh.
perfect.
like that. So we got to shift a bit here because you were asking
Yeah.
us the questions.
Yeah.
So we got to get some on you.
So we have
Okay.
to get some on you. So I'll start out. I kind of know the backstory, but like educate us. How did you start in media and what drew you to it? Because I know you were working also as a contractor or something.
I was a
father-in-law,
contractor,
and
yeah.
then go from there. Like why media and like what? How did it start?
Yeah, so I was always interested in photo and video.
Yeah.
Because I've been a skateboarder since I was 9 years old.
Still skateboarding.
Still skateboarding. I take my
boy.
kids out, and it's a lot harder now, but I still love it. But yeah, flipping through skate magazines and watching skate videos, I remember being like, man, somebody is like getting paid for this. And I was like, that seems really cool. So I loved my contracting job, but actually David Smith,
Yeah.
when he was getting into real estate, he and I are old friends. He was looking for somebody to do his content for him. And he was like, hey, what would you think about doing some stuff like this? And he's showing me California videos where agents were getting on camera in their videos.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is what I want to do. And I half jokingly was like, I could probably do that. And he was like, do you want to? And I was like, I don't know. And my wife was actually the one that was like, you know what, you should really consider it. So she's like, register the company, only work for Dave. Your job has the flexibility to do it. I was originally thinking of only being an aerial only business, which is why I called it White Cloud. My first year, I was still doing contracting and White Cloud. I did maybe 8 or 9, like it was less than 10 jobs my first year. And after that, my father-in-law, who I was contracting with, was like, I think you should take a crack at it, see what happens. And he fired me. Yeah, actually, so,
Literally.
yeah, he's an entrepreneur, so he's like, you're gonna regret it if you don't try it. So
So see you later.
Wow.
so see you later.
Good for him.
Well, yeah, that's
unreal.
awesome.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome.
and then that was 5 years, 4 years ago full time.
Yeah.
5 years since I registered the business.
Yeah, I was telling Austin, you had your truck and you had media/contracting gear.
Yeah.
In there. It was your work
F350
truck.
showing up to
F350.
listing
Yeah.
shoots.
With your look at your camera.
F350 diesel,
Yeah.
massive.
Rick from Red Deer.
Good part, this thing
coming
3
up
blocks
with his-
away.
It cost me
350.
$200 to drive to Willoughby in gas. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was
that's
doing.
awesome.
That's
man.
unreal.
Yeah.
So like what, I mean, you kind of already touched on it, like you started with Dave Smith, but why did you hone in on like the real estate side of it?
Like Dave would have been the main reason I focused in on real estate because that's what he was doing and what he needed. So it was my only paid work
Yeah.
in the beginning, right? But it didn't take me long to realize that real estate was a good, media-wise, consistent form of income.
Yeah.
Because I have 3 kids, I have a mortgage to pay, and I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, I need the consistency. I can't just,
And you can kind of predict it almost, yeah.
yeah.
So then when you're not editing, shooting, you got a team now, working with them,
Yep.
showing them the ropes. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
Like a big thing for me this last year has been finding more balance with my family.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you're starting a business, you're like
You were putting in work. You still are.
90,
But-
100-hour weeks.
I
I was
remember-
doing everything by myself. And so I've been really focusing on trying to make up for some of that time with my kids. And it's been great. So mainly, I'm like, yeah, I want to go on more dates with my wife. I want to hang out with my kids more.
Yeah.
And just do things where I'm actually turning my brain off of work a little bit. And
Have you reached that yet? Have you been able to turn your brain off?
this year has been the best.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
And like Michael and Leah are a huge part of that.
Yeah,
for
they're
me.
good stuff.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, bit of a curveball for you here.
All right. Hit me.
Who's your favorite realtor?
What do you see with White Cloud in the next, let's call it 5 years?
You know, ultimately, when I started doing this, my passion overall was storytelling. I would love to slip into kind of the documentary world a little bit and do some of that kind of work because I love sitting down with people, interviewing them, pulling a story, and I love that side of it for filmmaking. Photography, I love like product photography. I shoot like a lot of whiskey bottles.
I do. Loves the whiskey. And you
I
did-
love
yeah.
whiskey. And I'd love to do more of that stuff as well.
Good stuff.
Exciting, very
Yeah.
exciting.
Well, thanks for
Sweet.
taking
Yeah.
part in this.
Thanks.
I'm sorry I threw you in the, like, you just thought you were filming today.
I just thought I was shooting
Now you're in
today.
the chair beside me. I apologize. I was just
That is
the
all
curveball,
good.
But
Next
thanks,
time,
man.
we'll make sure that he brings good shoes.
Yeah.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, man.
Thank
it was
you,
fun,
guys.
buddy. It was fun.